So this is us turning a corner. I loaded the quote-unquote stock tune from the Sniper Delta Force software for an intercooled 8 psi centrifugal blower system with 42 injectors, 42-pound injectors, and a 90mm lightning math. It's drivable, but I currently have the blow-off valve completely bypassed. Vacuum lines plugged and the blow-off portion, or the discharge side of it, plugged as well. So this is a startup and quick run down the freeway to show a couple of issues. Now before it was running dead rich at 9.5:1 air-fuel ratio. As you can see, it's a little bit lean right now, but as the idle stabilizes, it should drop back to 14.5 to 14.7. There it goes. Okay. I got the AC on if that has any bearing on it or any influence. I don't know, but I'm gonna run it like this anyways. So overall, it's drivable. I did get into it on the freeway down in Mexico and got up to speed in third gear, and the boost never got past 5 pounds, and I want to say I was up at I was probably up at around 5,000 RPM, so I would have thought that more boost would have come in at that point, and that the boost would have come in sooner. Hopefully the cameras pick up the boost gauge as well. Quite honestly, I'm not overly impressed with the acceleration, but again, I think I've got not enough boost coming in. The surging is gone. At wide open throttle, third gear, getting a little bit of RPM. Corvette sounds good. At wide open throttle on the freeway, it hit 11:1 air-fuel ratio and stayed there. As the RPM climbed, the air-fuel ratio stayed right at 11:1, so I like that. However, at freeway speeds, you give it part throttle and it goes dead lean for probably 5 or 8 seconds before it starts to come back down to something that's livable. So that's something I need to address. As I said, the power level doesn't seem to be overly impressive at this point. I still need to do some tuning, but the drivability is just like stock. I don't know if I'm imagining it or not, but it seems like maybe I don't need to give it quite as much throttle as I did before. So again, the current tune is manual transmission, 42-pound injector, centrifugal blower, 8 pounds of boost, 90mm lightning math sensor, draw-through configuration, medium air-to-air intercooler, and I think that's all the fields that I toggled. Air-fuel ratio is good at driving around town. Hangs right between 14 and 15 to 1. stays between 15 and 20 generally. Wide open on the freeway. It goes straight to 11:1 air-fuel ratio, and it stays there, which is good. That was up to about 5,000 RPM, and I showed about 5 pounds of boost. The acceleration is not as impressive as I'd hope it would be, but I think I need to tune some more into it. On the hardware side, the blow-off valve is completely bypassed at this point. So that looked a little lean. Part throttle is where it seems to lean out. At freeway speeds, when I give it just a little bit of gas or a little bit of throttle, the air-fuel ratio was pegging way up to like, I want to say like 17 or 18. We'll see if we can make it do it again. And it took a while for it to come back down. That's a little disturbing. I need to address that. But as of right now, it's fully drivable, and this morning it was not. This morning it would not pull beyond 2,500, 3,000 RPM. It'd go dead rich, drop down to 9:1, and then the car would just fall all over its face. Couldn't get out of its own way at all. So I didn't drive it because I didn't want to wreck the catalytic converters. Tip in, it goes lean, stumbles, and then it catches itself. Part throttle drivability is spot on. A few thoughts about the intercooler. Although the tubing and the intercooler itself look good, and I do like the way they have the power steering cooler set up, the fact that it comes with no directions is really disappointing. Like right now, I believe I've got 2 pipes swapped, and the net result is that it's got one of the pipes hanging down very low out front. I've got the E-box springs on this, and going up just a gradual driveway, it scraped bad. So I think I need to change those 2 around, and I'm hoping that will get rid of that problem. But some directions would be nice. Also, apparently the blow-off valve that came with the system is absolute garbage, and unfortunately I didn't read about that until after I purchased the system. But I don't know how you can in good conscience sell a system with a blow-off valve that just flat out doesn't work. At least that's the way it appears now. I'm going to play around with the adjustments on it some and see if I can get it to work any better. But from everything I've read, this thing is garbage, and best bet is just to get a good one. So I may be looking at that. Also, by point of reference, fuel pressure on this is at 35 psi, and it holds steady after the car is shut off, so I don't believe I've got any injectors leaking. There was a little hesitation at part throttle. Get some space here. Probably not going to get any. hesitation when you first tip into it. Stabilize a little leaner. There it goes. See, there's a dead lean at part throttle and tip it. Need to address that. That's my main concern right now. Now that. Okay, so enough of that. Anyways, that's what it feels like. Guy that's helped me out, Willie at Dirty Racing. Let me know what you got on this. I tried the first and the third tune you sent out, or excuse me, first and the second tune was really lean. I'm sure you leaned it out after I initially reported back that it was running super rich.